we're live on YouTube right now. So I'm starting off today, taking a look at what a real buy box is and potentially finding properties for these buyers. I just mentioned it, but I started a little bit before this going live here. But here's the point: when somebody tells you that their buy box is everywhere, they're not a real buyer. you know, mobile homes can be a pain in Florida. Okay, yeah, I get that. Um, but somebody says, yeah, my buy box is everything, everywhere. Okay. If you are a millionaire, if you are a billionaire, even then, sure, you can buy things everywhere, but you don't want to focus. You can't, quote, focus on the entire United States, right? But what you can do is hire people because, again, you're a billionaire, right? You can hire people to make you money and they can have a buy box across the US, right? So if that's the case, then they are brokers, right? And if they are brokers, then once again, they're not the buyer. So typically, you will find that if somebody is a buyer, they're going to be very, very hyper focused. They're going to have one location, even 10 locations, but they're not going to have the entire US, maybe the entire world. Come on, right? So when I go into, let's say, thewholesaleatlas.com/buy boxes, and I see this person is only focused in Las Vegas, I believe that's going to be a real buyer, or at least this wholesaler, if it is a wholesaler, knows a single buyer or has a single um, location that they're focused on, which is awesome. Now you get a better opportunity to potentially connect with someone. Same thing here, right? We're looking at some other ones down here. This one has one, two, three, four states plus 45 more, right? Or no, I should say four. This is Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. Okay, I'll forget that. But anyway, 45? Are you kidding me? Right? So they basically their buy box is 49 states. Okay, cool. So maybe they know a ton of potential real buyers, but again, that's just are you kidding me? That's just way over the top. So to me, if I'm going to buy properties, here's one that Flo is was talking about. This buyer, they're only focused in Ohio and Las Vegas. Okay. Now, yeah, they might have their price ranges, any, et cetera, but they only have a single couple of locations. Same thing. Sometimes this down payment, I think this is 12%. I may have seen this one before. All these, all these numbers, I think this is wrong. The down payment is probably a percentage. Um, so they'll have to fix that, but 15%. Interest rate up to 3.5%. This is probably a buyer, at least a real buy box. Same thing here. 5% to 20% down. I'll call that percent. Okay. Not too many locations, not a million locations or whatever. So all good. So if you come in here and you're like, you know what? I just want to see if I can find a deal. This is probably a good place to start. I've got Florida, Texas, Nevada. So I'm going to potentially look for a deal for this particular buyer. So I'm going to say, hey, can you load me some leads related to this particular buyer? In the meantime, I'm going to set up my YouTube is telling me I'm live. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and make this guy ready for a call. And also, I'm going to double check over here because somebody was supposed to be joining me today. He was supposed to find a buy box, and I don't see the guy. What's going on? Hey, all right. So my own personal buy box, I like Arizona just because of the time zone. The time zone, they're actually West Coast time, so I can potentially find some deals there and make some calls. East Coast, everyone's like end of the day, they don't want to talk to you. Um, some people might pick up the phone, but they might be busy doing other stuff. So Let's take a look at some of these deals. This one I'm looking at Sellify. Right now, I guess I'm going to focus on. I think this should be Atlas mode. Yep, it does Atlas mode, so that's awesome. So I'm going to initially focus on subject 2. Let's see if we can find some nice subject 2s and price range under 500K. Interest rate, I'm going to be looking for, okay, here you go. So it's already defined, hey, 5%. It's got the year, pretty much any year, etc. So I personally do, so this buy box, they basically didn't say a price range, but once it gets, in the millions and whatnot, it's not that it's impossible. It's just that your actual buyers are fewer and farther between. And if something goes wrong, they don't like a property or whatever, all of a sudden you're down to 0 or 1. And I personally, I'm not going to get, as many people know, I'm not going to go to a lender to help, to beg them for money. That's the way I'll put it. I'm not going to go, begging them for money, individual separate lenders, and then I'm, you know, I have to jump through their hoops, right? So I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to spend that much money up front. Uh, so I might as well look at less expensive properties. So here we go. We have 60 properties that I can potentially look at. This one is in San Antonio. This person's buy box includes all of these things. So I'm going to skip Carolina for now. What will happen? I just deleted the whole thing. Man, that's unfair. That's unfair. But I've got San Antonio, so I'm going to put in Texas again. I like Texas personally. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm searching for locations that this particular buyer might be interested in. I'm actually looking for my own properties, but if I see a property I really really like it, and then for one reason or two reasons I don't really want to buy it, then I could potentially talk to this buyer and be like, hey, you want to buy it? So kill two birds with one stone. What's a better way to say that? Anybody know? Anybody in the audience can tell me? Good question. Can I share my screen? I'm pretty sure I'm sharing my screen, but oh yeah, I stopped sharing screen. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate live feedback. Y'all keep me honest. Okay, so I'm in Discord. I'm sharing screen on YouTube, but I'm in Discord as well. So apparently over there I wasn't sharing screen. So all good. Thank you for letting me know. This is what I'm looking at. Before I was looking at, I just went to the wholesaleatlas.com/buy boxes up here. And then, yes, I can pull that up in a separate window. And then I said, hey, find me a buyer. And I was talking about, all this time I was sitting here talking about the fact that some of these buyers, these look like nice real buy boxes, right? I've got a particular range up to this amount, up to rehab. So this is probably a cash fix and buyer, fix and flip right there. Same thing. And then, you go to some other ones. Let's see. Alabama. I think I went to Nevada. And then I saw in this one, I think it only gave me 2 pages of results, I should say. And some of them basically were like, yeah, I have 50 states, something like that. 7, 10, 45. This is the one I was talking about. All of these states. This is where I buy. Really? Are you a buyer or are you a wholesaler? If I got a property under contract, then I would what? I would let you know, hey, I've got this property on the contract. Please help me. Direct, indirect incentives. Good offer. GPT. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm live. I'm doing some stuff. Um, not sure where that question came from. Is it everyone? All in Texas, take pics. Okay, cool. Not really sure where I got that question, but it's all good. Let's move on. If you've got questions, let me know. If you have issues, if you got properties you want me to take a look at potentially buying, awesome. Let's do that. Like I said, I am buying properties, so happy to do that. Let me go over here. Oh, hey, you all good? You all set? You need anything? I'm sharing screen. Okay, all good. So found some deals. See if we can make some calls. I'm gonna take a quick look for this one. Underwriting looks like a nice deal. 230 under 4%. This should be a pretty good deal. Is it a VA loan? That's the question. I am a buyer and I don't really like to deal with the VA loans. So commercial loans can be challenging, but it's possible. Charming, etc., etc. Tony. Home could use some TLC. Has a lot of potential. Okay. Um. Hmm. This arch might need some work. I don't know that that's safe. That arch is supposed to be done in a way that. Oh, and should I get into some history here? This arch is supposed to be self-sustaining, and the way that this was implemented, the arch is actually not supporting the top. Okay, it's sad, but that's not. They didn't do it right. They did not do it right. I have to say, sad. But inside looks good. Could use some TLC, they said, but looks really good inside. But some safety concerns on the outside, so I might put in $1,000 on fixing that up. That's just a fence. Inside looks awesome, and it looks like I'm almost done with pictures because I'm looking. Okay, here we go. So again, in the back, uh, that little deck area again, that's going to need some work. So maybe someone tried to flip this and, or fixed it up, try to flip it, and looks like we're going to have some roof issues. I'm going to have some roof issues and the space out here. So inside looks fine. Outside, I'd be putting in something like the roof might need some replacing, at least partially. So I'm thinking this is going to need. I would go with $5,000, maybe 5 to $7,000 for this one going in. All right, there you have it. And it would be a subject to, so that's not too bad. Subject to. So let's see what we can do. Take me. Been on market for 2 months. 3-2. So 3-2. It's in San Antonio. I like it. Built in 6 to 9. If I can buy this property, awesome. Let's see what we can do. We are on Buy Box Live, everybody. I'm gonna call.
Hi, you've reached Smart Group Realtors. We're not able to take your call right now, but if you'll leave a message, we'll get right back to you. Please don't send a text message. Please leave a voicemail, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you, and have a blessed day. Record your message at the tone. Press any key or stop talking to end the recording.
Hello, my name is Clinton. This is Buy Box Live on buyboxlive.com. Calling for Tony to speak with the property, talk about the property at 5214 King George in San Antonio. I know it's been on market for a while, but it looks like a property I'd like to pick up and add to my portfolio. If you could give me a call back at your convenience, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good night. They didn't want me to send a text message, probably because it's a landline. The old folks. Let's see. So it's compatible with subject to. I didn't even underwrite it, as you see. I used to underwrite these properties, but now I look at properties and I'm like, yeah, that'll work. I can do that. If I can do this for an entry fee of 2%, this could potentially work. Uh, let's see. This was normal, so it hopefully says, yeah, I could potentially rent this out. It says here for $2,000 in this area. It's only a 3.2. Section 8 is just under 2,000, so 2,000 is probably good enough. I don't need to go really, really underwrite it. Property taxes, oh man, over 500 a month, and this was 2,000 square feet. Okay, well, yeah, I can still do something with this. The number of beds, I'd have to squeeze another bed in there, and I think I might still end up with about $2,000 even if I did that when I was done. But I think that's actually after my charges. So let's assume let's assume that I can get, let's say, 25 somehow, and then this becomes a really, really good deal. Okay. So I literally already saw all of this, but let's say they want a down payment. I really, really dislike down payments, as everybody knows. But if you even put that down, it's still a pretty good deal. So if I was to get this deal under contract, this lead under contract, then yeah, I could potentially do something with it. So let me take a look over here. How much is negative? Da-da-da-da-da. Interest is da-da-da, PI3, really good shape, and buy is motivated. Yeah, I'd love to do it. I've got the address, 0 down, closing costs only. Are you kidding me? So thank you for that, Robert. We're gonna take a look. Hmm. This is not under contract, right? We are live on YouTube, so I don't want to go ahead and share. Yeah, I don't want to share the details, but what I will do is in a different window. What do you want me to do? You want me to make the call? You wanted me to see if this deal works and just let you know. I'm in a different window. Not sharing this particular screen. Wait, is my screen actually even sharing? Can you see it? Really, really good movie, old movie called Minority Report. Can you see? Can you see? Awesome movie. But yeah, y'all tell me if you can see my screen. No. I can dig it. Sounds good. All right, perfect. So looking at, oops, that's the same one I was looking at. So let's go back to the other one. Sir, I will tell you, I like the property. It's been on market for a long, long time, and in that sense, yeah, it sort of makes sense that they're motivated. Potentially 0 down, almost $700 property taxes, and what's the reason? Yeah, this is 2,600 square feet, over 2,600 now, nearly 2,700. So property taxes are really, really expensive. So it's definitely negative cash flow, a lot negative. How big is it? It is 4 by 4. And what can we do? What can we do? Can we add some rooms to it? So I'm gonna change my down payment, maybe rehab. I'm gonna change my rehab and say, what if I put? It's got 4 rooms now. If I put 3 rooms in there and I spend a bunch of money, it's probably gonna cost me 1, 2, 12, 16. Let's say it's gonna cost me 20,000, maybe 25K. But we'll put 20,000. And with that, maybe I can get 3,500 rent. And at that, it's still negative return because I have to put some money in to upgrade it. Still losing money. All right, I'm gonna double check what you said. PITI was 3K. Yeah, that's right around what I see. It's 3K. How many rooms did I say? If I'm adding 3 rooms, that's gonna get me somewhere around 3,500 after all my expenses. 25. Add 4 rooms. Man, I'm squeezing this deal. I'm underwriting now. It's gonna be really hard. I think that's the challenge. The PITI is very high. I think the property taxes are the one that's killing it, and then my rate is only 5%, but the cost of this one is over 4. It's got a conventional loan, and the balance is just under 400,000. So this makes it a really, really hard deal. Yeah, I could bet they're motivated because nobody can potentially pick up this property. Nobody can pick up this property. Okay. We have 25 entry fee. If I could somehow squeeze $4,500 out of it, and this is after all my expenses, then it becomes a potential deal. So this to doing some underwriting and talking through it on buyboxlive.com. I'm going to come over here and drop it to you, my guy. You got it. So on a new home, yeah. Reply. Might be in the situation that I was in. He's spending a lot of money on one house, and the wife is like, "We gotta go." I'm like, yeah, they definitely crunched. But you can sort of squeeze this much by maybe spending 25,000 to upgrade it, and if so, hopefully you can get somewhere around 4,500 a month. And if so, right, there's a lot of ifs. If you get to a point where you have 3 ifs, then it gets really hard. It's really hard to get it to work. So I drop that phone. Oh, let's go out here. All right, so that's there. Go back. What I thought. Yep, got it. Too many ifs. Too many ifs. All right, so let's go ahead and this property. I'm gonna go ahead and make a note. I called it. Left a message. MSG. Okay, what else? Take another look. This is also subject to negative cash flow. Uh, Basically, normal rent is high, but the rate is pretty good. Rate is pretty good. Let's see. Got a lot of equity. Take a look at this one. Rate is even better. Cost is pretty high. So I'm live underwriting these deals. Do I even want to try to squeeze a turnip? Is what I'm doing. This one should be pretty good. This one is in Dallas. It's only 1,000 square feet. They've got a lot of equity. The rate is pretty good. The amount is pretty good. So my taxes on this one should be manageable. Should I say 250? 250, 250, 250. What? This is a tiny house. Oh, but it's an apartment. Okay. Why? Some kind of apartment, and the property tax on the apartment itself is $400. The HOA is the other part that kills it. Why? What is going on with that? Negative cash flow, negative cash flow, negative cash flow. All right. So I'm going to take your word for it, and I'm just going to go ahead and let me see my guys in here. I'm going to go ahead and um, add to this that I only want positive cash flow. I know I only had 60 properties, but I don't want to go through all 60 properties to look for, and this is subject to. So I know it's subject to, and people say yeah, it doesn't really have to cash flow, but guess what? Those would be a buyer who is interested. Now I only have three, which is fine. I can deal with that. But that's for a situation where the buyer can hold the property for a while and then exit, whether it's a year or 5 years or 7 years down the line. I am currently not focused on those. I'm more focused on, hey, can I at least get some money back? Can I get like 100% cash on cash? That's like my goal. By the end of the year, can I get my entire investment back on this particular property so that I can put it on the back burner and just do the management and all that stuff, keep it going, and focus on putting that money back to work for the next thing. And sure enough, this first property I called was in this list. It cash flows. So let's take a look at this other one. These two equity is about 12%, 13%. See my guy. So I'm gonna check this one first. It's not an apartment, so dare I say 250? What was the size? Okay, check it out. Been on market over 2 months. 215. Yeah, out front, it's fine. People live in all kinds of properties like that. What? Texas taxes are huge. Was $500. This property is a 3-2. These are the things that make it very difficult for a property to cash flow. So this one is not in the green, not in the green for this one. And it's only 3 bedrooms, so I don't know that there's much I can do with it. There's one bed, there's two beds, right? I like the fact that they've done this version where I can look at these properties all at a glance. I don't need to individually click through all of these. I'm glad that they fixed this. Seeing what I'm seeing, I can quickly see it needs a little tiny bit of work right there. That's maybe 4 tiles to be replaced, something like that, 4 or 5. That's fine. We can deal with that. Not a problem. And let's go back to my grid. I love this. One thing I like about the wholesaleatlas.com, the developers there are always improving it. Like literally last week, this is not the view I had. So they know what I need. Mesquite. Some people will call it mesquite. All right, so my guy, Francisco, what is up? How you doing?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm in my car, so let me know if I break up or something because I'm on my phone and my internet plan isn't that good.
Okay, sounds good. So let's go ahead and basically tell us your situation. You have like a seller and potentially a buyer at the same time. What's the deal there?
Yeah, so I contacted people that were selling in Phoenix, and I got around to a person that's saying that she needs to sell her property because she's gonna move closer to her grandparents. She's in a bit of a dire situation, but not trying to urgently sell. So the property that she currently has, if I remember correctly, she has a mortgage on it of 250K, and she's trying to sell it for 360, I believe. Um, so when I input the address here on the Wholesale Atlas website, I got that I could offer a hybrid deal to her, but I'm not aware of how those work exactly. So that was the first part of the help I was trying to get from you guys, how to go about offering a hybrid deal, or if that was our only option. Then
that's for her to buy to sell her property. Then because she was telling me that she was looking for another property to purchase, the one where she's going to move. She was saying that she's basically looking for properties around the 400K mark, and her because she was going to go through a traditional loan, she was going to have to put down around 80K. So the second part of this deal was she asking us for help if we can get her a property or in the area that she's looking for, so that way she could consider selling us her own property, because right now she's a bit of hesitant of selling to us in a creative deal, because she's planning on getting around, well, she wants to get around 60 to 80K to put down a profit to put down on the new property. So that's basically two deals I have with the same person.
Okay, awesome. So I sort of missed some of that. Tell me again, the location was Phoenix, Arizona, you said, right?
Yeah, she's in Phoenix, Arizona, and she's gonna move in the same city, just different zip codes. I sent the zip codes to
Okay. Okay. So we
Wendy.
got some other
Yeah.
locations in the city, but she's got some zip codes she wants to move to. Cool. Let me see if I still
Yeah.
have those.
Uh-huh.
I think you dropped them in the chat before, but I don't think
Yeah.
you sent
Either
them
way,
to me directly. No,
I can
you
pull
drive.
over.
Drive safe, please. Drive safe. I'll go look it up.
Okay.
I am the disc jockey. I am the DJ. It's my job to make sure that my people are safe while I do the things I need to do. So don't you worry about that. I will go and see. I guess I'm in the live stream, so search for announcements, introduction, reject. Francisco. Okay, and then he gave me some codes. Zip. Perfect. There you go. See, you were driving safe, and I found the zip codes for you.
Okay.
Phoenix or Glendale properties. Perfect. All right, so Buy Box Live, we are going to get rid of that. What that was about. There you go. We're going to see if we can find a property in this general location. Let's pick one randomly. So first of all, I'm gonna property. I think you said she was looking to buy a property. The new area is 4K. So this is basically a buy box, everybody, right? We have a buyer. She's also a seller. She's selling a property, and if we can find a nice property for her to go into creatively, we might be able to help her on the sales side as well. So this could be an awesome opportunity for her and for us. Okay, so she's in Phoenix. I want to take a quick look at that. General location. Tell me that number again. She needed the current property price was what,
Okay.
like 350 or something?
360. Yeah.
Okay, and then she currently has a loan for what?
She currently owes around 250 at
Okay.
a 4.4% interest, I believe.
4.4 and 250. Okay. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and walk through, like you said, the situation with the hybrid. And then
Uh-huh.
we'll take a look at finding a property. Okay. So first things first, I've got list price of 360 and owes 250. I'm gonna reuse one of these pages I was on. It doesn't really matter, right? What matters are the numbers. So I need a property in this general area just so I can figure out the property taxes and insurance. HOA is gonna be 0. So with that, I'm gonna take a look at cities. Phoenix, Phoenix, Arizona. Apply. Find me a property in Phoenix, Arizona. Any property in Phoenix, Arizona. Filter, filter, filter. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna tell me, hey, I'm finding the deals now. I'm searching. I'm doing this thing. In the meantime, I guess I can look over here in. This is in Dallas. Go back to my search. DHEO Nix. Interesting. Phoenix, Arizona. Try this one. Jump to present. See if you all have any other things going on. Nothing else yet. Okay. So this one, 450. This is off market, so it's probably not going to have all the details that I need. Yep, definitely doesn't. But got some properties in here. Let's go back and double check our numbers. Listed for 360. Perfect. 300. This one is something close. All right, fine. We'll go with the 300 one. We'll go with this one. So I'm doing this just so I can get just a close match. It should have the information. Here's a property on market for 400. Right, it is listed on market for 400. But the thing I really wanted to make sure was the property taxes and the insurance. Right. So with that, I can then say, first of all, this is a hybrid deal. Why is it hybrid? It would be subject to, if it was like it says here, conditions, -5%, really -10%, negative anything percent. If you've got a loan on there and you owe more than you're trying to sell it for, then that's negative, potentially negative equity, right? But if you're trying to sell it for more than how much you owe, up to maybe 15% more, then that's probably in the subject to range. Someone you want to call them and be like, hey, you've been trying to sell, you have a loan on there, maybe can you confirm that you do have a loan on there, etc. But the situation for them is there's a loan involved. Okay. The opposite of that is there's no loan involved, and they have zero loan at all, and you're like, hey, can I buy this property? Can I just buy the equity from this property? You've got 100% equity, right? No loan involved. So hybrid is just the cross between the two. It's like they've got a huge amount of equity, let's say 50%, or $100,000 worth of equity, right? And which is exactly what the situation is we have here. That's the giveaway. It's listed for 360. They owe 250, 4.4%. They owe 250. So it's got 100,000. They want $100,000. They sold it for 360. If they sold it for 340, they would have gotten $90,000 cash. And she's like, yeah, I really need that 90,000 so that I can buy my 400K property, this next 400K property, whatever that is. Okay, cool. That's what you want. But guess what? Nobody is trying to buy your property for 360. Nobody. And you might drop the price 10K so that you still have 100K, right? You take that money, you give it to a bank as a down payment, and you get your next property. It makes sense. I mean, it's traditional, right? That's what you want. But guess what? In this market, nobody wants to buy that property for that. And so it's just going to be hard. And then the other thing is, maybe other people are finally getting to that point where they realize, why am I giving all this money to a lender? Why am I giving all this money to a lender? Right? So they go and they get a loan, and they have to pay this lender back twice or three times as much as they borrowed. over 30 years or something, right? Maybe other people are getting smart and deciding, yeah, I don't want to do that either. So, again, nobody wants to go through that process to buy this particular property and then have that huge amount of a loan payment to buy a property from her. Um, they might use that money to build a house. I did that, but buying someone else's property, and I don't know, that's kind of hard. All right, so let's jump into it. Looking at this property, so that's where we are, right? It's a hybrid, and using this calculator, I can go in here and say, well, the offer price, let's say they want 360, okay, and they basically owe $100,000. So let's say 100,000. There's a loan balance on here. That's the important thing of 250K, something like that. I don't think the amount matters too much, but I'll put it in there just in case. And so a 360, 250 equity, something like that. Interest rate is 4.4%. So why am I doing it this way? Just so that I'm not putting in the specific property that we were looking at. If I search for that property, all this stuff should already be filled out for us, but it's fine. I can put it in manually. But I've basically reproduced the property that Francisco is looking at, right? Listed for 360, they owe 250 at 4.4% interest rate. This way. I like to be very clear in what I'm doing. So I'm going to say it that way. I'm going to write it that way, right? They owe 250, just like that. So here's the deal. They expect to get 100,000, and we can't give them 100,000. Put this over here. Can't give them 100,000. If we do, we're losing money pretty much. Okay. If I paid 100,000, no cash from cash return. I'm getting back. Look at this. I'm getting back $1,000 in cash flow by the end of the year for that property. Now, the only other difference is, let's say it was 4 bedrooms instead of 3. Right? Maybe it's not, but let's just say that it is. My rent is, the rents are pretty good. So maybe up this a little bit to, let's say 28. If I can somehow get 28 out of that particular property, it's still going to be very hard to get this thing to really cash flow a lot. So again, all in the red, paying $100,000. So we can't do that. But that's why creative works for us. Okay, we can say, hey, I understand that's how much you want, but if we can find your property and we can find it creatively, that was the point of this particular one, right? If we can find it creatively, then maybe I can give you a lower down payment because you don't need that 80,000, 90,000 to buy your next house. Or at least to put it put it as a down payment on the next house. If we can find your next house and we can do it creatively as well, then you can move into that without spending that much upfront as well. Okay. So we don't want to spend 100,000 on a property, and she probably doesn't want to spend 80,000. Get all that. Let me cut myself off. Here's the deal. Literally, I had this situation. I had a property, and it was okay. Didn't really like the neighbors. Y'all can go back in my history and potentially find out which neighbors, but there were neighbors everywhere. But there was one set of neighbors that we really didn't like very much. But we had an opportunity to build a house. We had a house, and we had bought the house and moved into the house. And then I was like, okay, yeah, we can build our own house. Cool, let's build a house. And I was so happy to build a house. And guess what? Like, yeah, let's sell this one we have now. Let's get a bunch of money, and then we'll build this new house, which was awesome, man. I had an awesome house. Problem is, all that money I got, I saw it in the closing costs. It was like $100,000 cash. I was like, yes, $100,000. Man, it was young. I was in my 20s. I was so happy, $100,000. But guess what? All of that money went directly to the bank for the loan on that we used to build our dream house. I say dream house. It was a dream house. It was a very, very nice house, big yard and everything. But that that loan was very expensive. I put a ton of money down. The bank got all of that cash that I got from selling my house, and the loan was very expensive. And, if you all know, eventually the market collapsed and my business died and the bank stole money from my kids. And now I am the leader of the no credit team, thanks to that really, really bad bank experience taking money from my kids. Anyway, so that's the full story. And you're going to hear it in all my lives, pretty much, it seems like. But my point is, in this scenario, it's the same thing. She wants a ton of money, right? But it's all going to go to the bank anyway. So she's not even going to see it. So if we can get her, you know, that new house without, having to worry about all that money, it's going to be great. So I'm going to stop there for a second and make sure that, Francisco, did I answer your question about the hybrid and all that stuff, or do you have other questions?
No. I get it. It's basically using half and half, right? One part is going to be seller finance, and the other part is going to be mortgage takeover.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So that's generally speaking what it is. It's
Yeah.
instead of us doing this $100,000 down, we would say, hey, can I give you? Thanks for clarifying. Can I just give you 10,000 down? Okay, this is what a hybrid traditionally is. Like, there isn't a second house or anything, but a traditional hybrid is, can I give you $100,000 down? And then for that, I give you 10,000 down, but instead of me giving you $100,000 up front, can I give you whatever amount I have available? So right now, this is a 34% cash on cash, right? I only had to pay 10,000, but at the end of the year, I'm getting back most of it. Well, most of that 10,000 down payment, but I still have closing costs to worry about. All right. So,
Right.
but because of the rent, I have $500 per month. So I'm like, hey, can I give you 200 of that? In fact, I'll give you even more than I'm getting. So I'm going to give you 300. I'm going to only get 200, assuming, you know, well, this is after all my expenses. I'm going to give you 300 a month because I understand that, you're allowing me to not have to pay 100,000. So this is what the hybrid is, right? It's a cross between the subject to and the sellify. The subject to, hey, I'm going to keep the mortgage in place. Don't really like lenders, but you already went through the process and dealing with them fine. So we'll just keep that in place and we'll go ahead and pay that. And, just like a sellify, we will carry that 100,000 that you wanted and, pay you money over time. And then eventually we'll balloon you out to pay everything out. Okay. So if I
Okay.
did that,
Now,
then my cash and cash is,
could
yeah.
we?
Let me just 1 second. Let me finish this out.
Okay.
If I did that, my cash and cash is 14%. But thankfully, if this is sort of my max, I don't want to go. I don't want this to turn red at all. I want at least 20%. So I'm like, hey, I'd love to give you 300. I really can't. The numbers don't allow me to give you that. But can I give you 200? And if I gave them 200 a month, and I'm paying the mortgage, which, right now nobody's buying the house anyway. I'll keep the house in place, keep the mortgage in place. I'll pay that, and I'll give you 200 a month. And after 7 years, I'll pay you the rest of whatever I owe you. Right? Can we do that? That's generally speaking. And then my cash and cash is 20%. Not bad. Not bad a deal. Okay, go ahead with your question or comment.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say because my screen's pretty tiny. Are we doing this on the actual property, or was this just an example property that you brought up?
So this is what we would potentially do on this deal. Okay? Like, if she doesn't, like, let's say she didn't have a location she wants to move to, or she's already moved there, she's already got it, blah blah blah. We have nothing to do with this next property, right? This is how I'm answering your question of the hybrid. Like, this is how a hybrid deal would work. Be like, hey, I'm going to keep the loan in place. I'm going to just pay the mortgage, which, my PITI is $1,500, right? So I'm going to keep everything in place. I'm going to be paying the property tax, insurance, thankfully no HOA, presumably, and I'll be paying, 1,500 to the mortgage. That's going to stay in place. And, right, this is what makes it a hybrid. I'll also be paying you 200 a month because I didn't want to give you $100,000 down or $80,000 down. Now, in her situation, we can't really do that because she was really counting on that 80,000, 90,000 to, you know, cash to go towards the next property.
Uh huh.
Okay. So for her, we can't really do that, but the general hybrid, this is how that would work. Now,
Okay.
let's go and see what we can do for her on this next property. So hopefully, like I said, and I can go through this some more, but that's basically how the hybrid works. You want a
Oh
hundred
yeah, yeah,
thousand,
yeah.
you want 80,000, can't really do that, but can I give you a small amount? So now what we're going to do for her specific case is we are going to want to, for this property, maybe we can make it even zero down. That'd be awesome if we can make it zero down. If we just found her another property that she wants to go into. So, right, if that's the case, and this is that, and even on this house, what if I don't give you anything at all? I'm getting close to 100%. Remember, I said up front I wanted 100% return. So let's see if I can somehow make this 100%. 100%. If I can get my rent an extra $1,000, and in order to do that, I have to add some rooms to it. So let's say I put in. Okay, wait. Let me go back and double check. Right. So my entry fee, I'm getting 15. Right. I'm getting 15. So if I can put maybe one room in there and really spiffy up this property, make it really look really, really nice. And then I use, um, and then I
Now,
use,
Clint, I have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
So, if by any chance the rent that the property generates is not enough to cover her mortgage payment, does this mean that the deal falls through? We can't do anything because we wouldn't have enough money to pay her mortgage, let alone give her an additional monthly payment.
That would potentially be the case. Yeah, because the whole point is we are buying the property, we're putting, ourselves on the line, a bunch of money on the line. We're jumping through a lot of hoops. We're, paying closing costs. We're paying a bunch of money. But the goal of that is so that we can provide a nice place. We are not slumlords. We want to provide a nice place for someone who does want to rent the property to live. And in exchange for that, the money they give us is going to help us pay that mortgage and, maybe get a little bit of money extra after that. So
Okay.
if the mortgage, like if the rent is not enough to cover, then yeah, that makes it very difficult.
Okay. Okay.
So
Because I do remember that she. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
here's a question. According to these numbers, the PITI should be less than $2,000. Is the and this is only a three bedroom, three bath. So are you saying that the rent for this property is less than $2,000?
I don't remember the number exactly, but I do remember it didn't cash flow. And when I mentioned this to the owner, she said that she had her house appraised or something, and if it went through or got approved, that then her monthly payments would go down to 1,600. But as it is right now, again, I don't remember the exact number, but I do remember it didn't cash flow.
Okay, yeah. So we can offline. We can go ahead and look very specifically at the current property. Um,
Okay.
the other thing would be rent estimate. So this was just I put this in there just to see if I can somehow make this 100%, which I pretty much succeeded in doing. Right? If I'm getting something like 15,000 and my entry fee was 15, then I'm right around 100%, which is awesome, right? But to your point, she's trying to do maybe a mortgage modification or something to get a lower payment than 1,500. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can take a closer look at that particular one.
Exactly.
But the goal for this particular situation was I wanted to walk through the scenario that we're in and also answer your question about how hybrids work, right? So we hopefully
Okay.
accomplished that. And now we can go on to the second part about, hey, we're looking for a property in this particular location. So let's see what we can do. Let's go back and find one of our locations. I'm going to put in this zip code. Go ahead and check. Go back to search in Zillow. Wait. Phoenix, Arizona. Put in this zip code. Oh, okay, that's what it did. Was it gave me just a single address. The Metro Center. This was looking for sold properties, so let's look for sale. Single family homes, apply. Bedroom, this is probably exact what I'm looking for. Apply. I was doing some underwriting, so that's why all of this is here. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Move boundaries somewhere in this general area. North. Okay, so this is Glendale, Arizona, generally speaking, right? And Peoria, Arizona, not Illinois. Then Phoenix, so north of Phoenix. Okay, and then where's another location? This one, all the way to 51. These are very specific. So we've got 301 and 302 all the way to 51. So I wonder if these are like very specific neighborhoods. If it's this one or this one, this one. Take a look at this. So that's Glendale. Perfect. Yep. So north, and then so 301 got north, now somewhere around here. And we'll take a look over here as well. That's 53. 29 is right in the middle. So let's see what this one is. You can tell I'm not an expert on Phoenix. Somebody else will be an expert. I'm not. But I definitely like numbers, and I use the different tools at my disposal to help me. So for her, if we can find her a property in Phoenix, Arizona, it's going to say Phoenix, generally speaking, but it's going to be northwest part of Phoenix. It sounds like we might get her a deal. And the goal would be to find a seller that we can do something creative so that she can get that property without having to pay $80K up front. That'd be awesome. So that makes it her buy box. Her buy box is northwestern Phoenix. Northwest Phoenix, Arizona. And this is for Francisco. Why am I doing this? Because I guarantee you that when I do this live tomorrow, which I plan to do, God spare life, as my mom would say, I'm going to completely forget all of this. And so it's all good. That's what makes it fun. Okay, so we've got Phoenix, Arizona. We've got a bunch of these properties. And now I don't want to do hybrids. I do want to do sellify and subject to. And here again, I'm going to look for properties that are, the taxes are not too bad, unlike Texas. Taxes were sad. Not my place to judge, but those taxes were just very challenging. So I'm going to say in this area, I could potentially go up to maybe 350K and get a good deal, I think, for the price range. So we can keep our expenses low. Year built, etc. Number of beds. Let's go with at least 2 bedrooms. Equity. Maybe look for sellify in that. So let's filter that. We started off with 15, almost 1,600 properties. Let's see what the number this gives us. All right, so for those of you who were expecting a whole lot more on today's Buy Box Live, my apologies. Hopefully my audio is good, and we've made at least one call. So, maybe this is a special Buy Box Live for Francisco. And guess what? I can do the same for you if you've got a similar situation or something else that we can sort of go off of. So now I've got 166 leads to go based on, and what can we do? I'm going to assume that this property here might be a little bit too small for her based on, hmm, here's the point, here's the point, here's the point. She did want a property in the 400 range, thinking that she would put down, okay, so let's fix this. I do recall that. See, I told you I would completely forget. She wanted a property for about 400K that she could potentially put down 20%. Literally, that was her buy box. Buy box live, everybody. This is what a buy box is. She gave me a location, Northwest Phoenix, gave me a number. Properties should be around 400K, and she expected to put down 20%. Traditional, very traditional, but all good. All good. So let's go ahead and fix what I was looking for. I'm looking for a property. My price range should be, I'll say 350. Okay. And then I'm going to say, hey, if we can get her a 500K property creatively, I think it would almost be a no-brainer. She didn't have to put down 80K. She can maybe, hopefully keep some money in her pocket. And it's a nice big property. I'm literally thinking if this was me, what would I want? You know, I want a property for 400K. I don't want to go a whole lot less than 350. So I'm going to go ahead and update my filters. Show me what you got. Okay, apply filters. So what I can say once again to anybody in the audience, and let me go and check over on YouTube as well. Anybody in the audience, you've got a situation like this, you want me to underwrite, you want me to help you find a deal, all that stuff, bring it to Buy Box Live. We can do the same thing. All right, so now we've got almost 200 properties we can look at. This one is 400K. I want to find her a nice, maybe a brick front. So let me ask you, do you recall what kind of property she was currently in?
I have the address. I'm parked, so let me see if I can resend it to you.
Okay. Feel free to send it me private. I will pull it up in a different screen. Because what I want to
Yeah.
do is, if I can reproduce the one she has now, if she's got a nice brick front, I don't want to give her something that's not, right? She's got, brick front. Again, if I'm thinking about myself, I'd love a brick front property. So, let's see. This was okay. All right, I can say some words about that, but I'm not gonna go over here. Oops. Go to this one. Check. Go to this one. Check. I'm just gonna bring up this property for myself. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Unless this guy just keeps sending me messages.
I just sent you the information.
Okay, I got it. I got it. I'm just reading through it now. Needs to be. They will remove it, and my payment will be close to 60. So that almost seems like it's got PMI on there. Man, see, this is what happens when you buy your house traditional, man. You go to a bank and you beg them, please, 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 can I pay you too much money for this property? Yeah, sure. Here you go. Type some numbers into a computer. How much do you want? $1 million? Oh, you only want 500K? Tick, tick. Let's see. One. Oh, sorry. I was gonna put in five. I was gonna put in $1 million. So you wanted 500,000. That's a five. 1, 2, 3. 500,000. Yep, that's what you want. Good. Enter. So they type it into a computer, hit enter, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got quote money. Yay. Oh my, yeah. Do I sound Republican? Anyway, so they do that, and you're basically all of a sudden, you start paying them money over time. And that's where the money's actually generated. You work your tail off, the money you get from working your tail off goes back to that bank to pay off this number that they put into their computer. So, not legal advice, not financial advice, not political advice, but still, like, okay, okay, right? So that's basically what you're saying to them. Let's go back. Property I'm looking at. Okay, so outside, property looks very nice. Looks very nice, and I'm gonna look at one house particular. Hmm. I wonder if there's an issue with the solar on the house. Seems to have solar. Probably a good idea to reduce utility bills, right? Your electricity costs, but still, sometimes those loans can make it very challenging. So I'm gonna close this column. All right. So what am I looking at? It's a ranch. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. So I'm gonna try my best to find a property that's not too bad. Doesn't have to be a super nice brick front. She was expecting to maybe an upgrade, 400K. But this is Phoenix, Arizona, and if we can find her a nice Phoenix, Arizona house, then it might work. This one negatively cash flows. They have got equity of the rate is 7%, so that one makes it challenging. This one is 350 and the size is very small. And let me just double check that it's in her zip code. 29 was one of those zip codes. Perfect. This works. Wait, why am I looking at the property? So that is what I'm at. Okay, so this general area, 350. This one is a seller fi, so we can pretty much, do whatever we need to, assuming they accept. And subject to doesn't cash flow. 6. All right, so maybe I will filter. No, maybe can I sort on the equity? Sort on the equity, low to high. Okay. Low equity to high equity. This is gonna give me my subject twos first. All right, this is a 400K property. It is in Phoenix 5-1 location, northwest. All of these negative cash flows. This rate is 7%, 7%. These are recent. Yeah, these interest rates were definitely going up. This is 5-1. This is 475. This might be a nice one to look at. It's an equity. On market for 5 days. That's probably going to be challenging because they really, really want someone to just, go to a bank and get money and give it to them. Maybe they're in the same situation. What if we sort of daisy chained this and found like 5 different properties that we're finding like, oh, you want to move to? Okay, where are you trying to move to? And they give us that. Okay, cool. Where you with? We can literally turn this into a thing on Buy Box Live, just finding new properties for people. Okay, okay. So now we're in the seller fi territory. Subject to negative cash flow. Rate is 5. On market for a while. 3-2. Bedroom is pretty big. Ooh, it's even got a pool. Ooh. I don't know. It is 5%. Got a pool. But that pool probably says that they've got an HOA. Maybe that's why this negatively cash flows. Let's take a quick look. No HOA. No value available. It's got 2 mortgages. One of them is very high. The rate is 3% though. 1,700. Might be her situation. Deed transfer, small mortgage, second mortgage. Amount is just about 20K. Not much. Okay. Beautiful update. Out of home. Da da da. Designed for living. Immaculate. Fresco. Perfect blend. Blah blah blah. A lot of stuff. What? So what? Did they literally build this house? Very nice. Does. This might be her house. Been on market for a while. Now let's see what we can do in terms of creative. Not too much down. Payment is pretty big, right around probably what she's currently spending. It would be a lateral move for her, no HOA. Ooh, but PITI actually is a little is more. In this case, she is an end buyer, so it doesn't matter that the cash flow is pretty bad. Cash on cash is bad. Entry fee.
Yeah, because what I was thinking is that maybe she can go to a new home where she pays similar to what she's paying right now, maybe even less.
Yeah,
That way, I can convince her that we won't give you a down payment, but we won't give you a down payment because whatever you were going to use with the bank, we now are just helping you get a house for the same amount. So it's not like we're not going to give her anything. It's just whatever we gave her, she was going to use on the house that we're going to help her get, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, because that's going to be the main point I'm going to try to make her see to convince her that, hey, I'm not going to give you 80K, but maybe I'll give you 20 because that's the only amount of money that you're going to use for this new property that I also help you get.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. That's exactly how it's gonna work.
Okay.
Exactly how it's gonna work. Interest. So I think her situation though, I, I'm looking at the deal and I don't see how she's paying 1800 PITI. I don't see it. Don't see it. The cash on cash is not perfect for the property I'm looking at for her, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's saying that the PITI should be somewhere around $1,400 a month. But if she's saying, oh, if I can, you know, get rid of the PMI, then it goes down to 16, then that tells me that she's basically spending more than 16, obviously, 100 a month.
Yes, exactly. She's paying a lot more than 16.
Yeah, so
I actually did
something's different.
resend you the mortgage statement if you want to check it. I think the amount says how much he's paying right there.
Okay, no worries. Oh wait, you did send it to dude, I am trying to run on live here, and this guy's sending me stuff. Now it's saying I have to download it though. Down. Nope, that's not the way I want. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see. What are we looking at? Principal, balance, recovery, paid. Interest is high. Okay, that gives me a number. Taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance. How does all of that add up to 1600, almost 1700? I don't understand. Mortgage insurance is almost, yeah, she could hopefully get it. She's like, hey, I could potentially save $50, is basically what she's saying. It's under 17 that she's currently spending. But at a rate of 4%, maybe what she did was combined, because the original info I was looking at was she had like, two mortgages. So maybe this was just going to this bank and saying, hey, can we do a traditional consolidation or something? And then like, yeah, sure. And then they gave her a huge PITI, I should say. So she's spending about 1,700. Let's see if we can find something that's less than that. Yeah, that's what we're going to try to. So this one obviously is a lot more, and it's going to be a hard sell, right? Let's say she's like, hey, she's trying to move up, and she should be, that's the deal, right? If she's going to put 20% down, I think her goal is to spend like 20% down. If it was a 400K house, the balance would be 320. The payment should be less than this. So this one I think is not going to be a good fit. Okay, but it's not a bad house, not a bad looking house. This is rate of 7%. Man, this entire life might be dedicated to this one goal. But guess what? If we can succeed, that would be such an awesome outcome. That'd be an awesome outcome. I think this is the same one I was looking at. Oh. Payment 22. Yeah, this feels like the same one I was looking at. Nope, this one has. Okay. So we can be like, yeah, you get a pool. You get a pool. All you have to do is spend an extra 4,000 a month, 400 a month, I think. Right. Again, 1,700. This is 22. 500 a month, an extra 500 a month, and you get a pool. I don't know. It's gonna be hard, but we'll see what we can do. We shall see what we can do. I'll go back up here, and maybe that's the equity. I do want a subject to, but we don't have to do it that way. If it's obviously it's a sellify that we might be able to do even better if we get a sellify. But I wanted to start with subject to, see if we can find it. See if this works. The thing about Phoenix, Arizona is these properties actually don't look too bad. They do a pretty good job. I've seen this house before. I know I've seen this house before. So this is only on market for 7 days. So I'm curious how many days. Yep, there you go. 82 days. Can't be 7 days. I knew I've seen this house before. It says 9 days. Yeah, pretty sure I've looked at this. All right, well, tell me what happened. What happened? Someone say, hey, I can buy this. 2023 pending, sold for 370. Now it's for sale for a little bit more. I like this. I like this. They're not like, hey, I bought this house for 370. Now, 2 years later, I want to sell it for 600,000. They're really level-headed. It looks like. So we might be able to work with. Subject to situation. Say I can give them 12,000 down. My payment is 24. How is this payment 24? The interest rate is killing me. 7%. Let's say my interest rate was 5. Yep. 4. Yep. 3. Yep. 7% interest rate. No wonder they're like, please, can I sell this property? I can't afford it. Yeah. Sorry, folks. I'm sorry they had to buy this property with an interest rate of over 6%. It just makes it really hard. A lot of these properties are going to become due, but they're just going to have to go into foreclosure. Really do much with it. 7% interest rate. All right, I'll try again. This time, I'm going to go based on my interest rate and start low to high. I have 200 properties to look at. The rest of them are sellify, so we might just have to go to a sellify situation. So on the one hand, a lot of people have left. And so what is going to start with sellify? Interesting. Let's start with Solify, but now I have to go all the way to the end, which is I might as well have done it opposite. I'm not going to do this. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to change the number of properties on a page. Only 200, so that should be 3 pages. Three and a half pages. How many properties? How many pages do I have? My brain is going like, how many? Yep, 3.5. Perfect. So these are Sellify. Go to page 2. Yeah, so on the one hand, to my point earlier, we had a huge audience. It's the end of the day. People have left. We're only looking at a single property. But guess what? This is literally like for the folks who are hanging with me, Jorge, Tony, obviously Joel and Francisco, this is your deal we're looking through. If you can reproduce this, right? This is, I'm basically doing, assuming like next year somehow I'm a billionaire. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hang up my hat and, give it to one of you guys. Yeah, you can sort of reuse this technique to find deals for an actual end buyer. Fair enough.
Clinton, I'm not gonna lie. I was on the phone and I had you pretty low, and I did not hear the first part. I heard my name, but
Okay.
I didn't.
Are you off the phone now?
Yeah, I'm off the phone now.
Okay, no worries. Well, first of all, thanks for still hanging out with us and being on the phone. What I was saying is that our audience is dwindling, but I'm not too worried about that. That happens a lot at the end of the day. Sometimes it happens during the middle of the day because Vidish is not on stage, but that's all good. But I'm going through this process to find a property for a real end buyer. I have a buyer in mind. I'm looking for a specific property. She's got a buy box. In this case, it's Northwest Phoenix. And although our audience has dwindled, and I'm sure on YouTube, right now our audience is pretty low, but hopefully this live is going to last for a while. People can come back to it. And so what I was saying is, yeah, in a year or so, when I'm a billionaire, I can hang up my hat, and folks like you and Francisco, if you're not billionaires yet, and you want to use this technique to find real deals for real buyers, this might be an approach you can use. So that's what I was saying. Look at this one. Interest rate. So this rate is pretty low. And it's
Awesome stuff.
So let's see what we can do with this. Log on market. This should be really good. There you go. Nice. This is a nice one. Stylish. 5 nearby. Let's just double check the location. This is 50. Doing all this. No! Well, it says I'm near that, so 50 should be near 50. Okay, let's go and take a look. Zillow. Oh, wait, I didn't have to do that. I guess I could have just scrolled down here. But this is pretty close to the highway. Is it northwest? This is northeast. North. Wanted over left. Yeah, we can try it. We can try it and see. Not a perfect situation, but we see. PITI is good. And we can get it for a nice entry fee, right? Then she doesn't need 80K. She would need less than 20K. We could potentially get paid and this deal. All right. They've got a new conventional loan. Are they interested? All right, yeah. So this is a good one, right? It is a subject too. They might be getting a bunch of these calls already, but we might. It's only 3 beds, but inside looks awesome. It's pretty big, and in front is nice wide open area. So you're not going to put a bedroom here in the middle. You might have to renovate it to add a bedroom to it. But let's go to our grid view. So glad they have this grid view. Exercise room, big wide open arch to get in there. So you'd have to potentially do something with that. Nice big open windows. Opens to the fence. But these bedrooms are huge. Bedrooms are huge. Small, tiny little area there. And this might actually be another, potentially a bedroom. So maybe that makes it 3. One side, this is the opposite side, maybe. That's what this is. 3 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. So yeah, if she needs 4 bedrooms, you could sort of, this archway, this is pretty big. So I don't know that you can potentially turn this into a bedroom, but be creative. All right, so 4 beds. I should actually look for a similar size in case she wants to reproduce it. But she's going from 3 beds, 2 baths to this could be a 3-bed, 2-bath. So to me, this is an awesome find. I knew it took us a while, but guess what? We found it. Okay, awesome find for Francisco.
Is this buyer that you're talking about? Is she a possible buyer in Sun City? Oh, but you said she wants 4 bedrooms, right?
No, 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms. Oh, okay,
When you
never
say
mind.
Sun City, where is Sun City? Is it northwest?
Isn't Phoenix? Is in Arizona? It's in Phoenix. No, sorry, it's not in Phoenix. It's in Arizona.
Okay, give me a second.
It's outside.
It's in the south side of Phoenix?
It's outside of Phoenix.
Yeah, but which direction?
It is. It is towards the northwest of.
Yeah, then that would work.
That will work.
Yes. What kind of situation is it?
I was calling on one, and then I realized that it's only a 2-bedroom. So.
Okay. Yeah, she's looking for 3, I think. Price range of about 400. So here's our buy box, right? This is for Francisco. He is a wholesaler, I understand, but he really, really has an end buyer. Really, really does. Which is what I like. This is Buy Box Live. We want you to have a real buyer, whether you're the buyer or in this case, Francisco has an actual buyer, and we've got a nice real buy box. Not like I'll buy anything, anywhere. Really? No. All right, and her buy box is Northwest Phoenix, Arizona, and I'll go in here and put, based on the property, I'm not going to put the address here, but I will say it's a 3 bedrooms.
That's all she really cares about. Just three bed, 2 bath.
No, I mean there's some other stuff, right? So the property she's looking for is probably about 400K. Her goal was to sell her current property and get 80K for it and take all of that money pretty much and put it into the property. So she's expecting to get $0 because all of it is going to go to the bank so that she could do a lateral move, most likely. And these are basically just all northwest location. So that's a buy box. And yeah, if you can find a deal that that matches that, you can get together with Francisco, and the 2 of you can, I don't know, get a room and get some money, get paid. It'd be awesome.
Who's Francisco? Hold on.
He's on stage right now.
Francisco, I see.
Oh, I'm right here. Yeah.
So I used to live in Phoenix, bro, for like 13 years, 12 years.
Okay.
And Sun City is a little bit difficult to get something that cheap if she's looking for like 300 grand. But
400K
I mean,
in Sun City?
You said 400 or 300?
400. It's right here on my screen.
400. Yeah. Okay.
400K. So yeah, it looks like a lot of properties in that northwest area, or just Phoenix in general. Like I said, this property I found was a really, really good one. I think. Okay, it is gonna be a subject to. It is greater than 400K. But she wouldn't if they accept. Hey, can we buy this for subject to da da da? If they accept that, then she basically gets potentially a larger property than the one she had. Just double check. Okay, where do I have it? Yeah, it's a little bit larger, and it's a little bit newer. It's a little bit more awesome. All of that stuff. I think this would be an awesome deal. So, Francisco, I'm going to, if you don't mind, I will go ahead and make this call.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It can't hurt. It's the first one. It'd be awesome if it actually works, but
yeah, to be honest, this would be my first contract if we manage to get it. So I'm super hyped if you guys can help me out. And I'm like a sponge right now. Whatever you say, I'll try to learn from you guys. And yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Well, what's awesome is hopefully our audio is awesome on this particular live. That just going to buyboxlive.com, you should be able to on the YouTube link on the bottom left there. That's going to take us to to youtube.com/buyboxlive, or you can search for buyboxlive in YouTube, get to it. And yeah, hopefully this live is going to be on there. So all the stuff I just went through today, we'll be able to learn over time, or teach your children.
Yeah.
Okay, so with this number, this would be so awesome if this works. I know it's the end of the day, but we'll see. Pick up, George. George, pick up. I really don't want to have to double dial. George is on the phone. Is it just 5 p.m.? Just got off.
We are sorry. There is no one available to take your call. Please record your message after the tone. Press star to display.
I'm going to hang up instead of leaving a message. If he calls back, great. George, I like this deal. I know it's the end of the day, and I'm going to actually make a note to call this property back. So what we just did, we just got to the, pretty much the end of this live. This live has been dedicated to Francisco, reviewing his buy box, a real buyer, all that stuff. And it would be awesome if the rest of this week is dedicated to turning this buy box into a literal live purchase. That'd be awesome on Buy Box Live. So I'm going to make a note. This deal. And try to close Cisco. All right, and then I'm gonna also keep notes. So quicktextpad.com, guys.
West Mead. Sorry, West Mead Road in Sun City.
Yeah, no seller financing. He just wants his cash out.
Okay. Do you happen to have anything that might be seller finance?
I do not. No.
No. Okay. If you come across anything that's 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, anything that we could just step into the mortgage payment and just continue making payments on behalf of the seller, kind of like a master lease or something, or if they do any seller finance, can you please give me a call?
Yes, sir. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Okay. You too.
Oh shit! I thought I was muted. Sorry.
Are you
I was
kidding
trying to
me?
talk and then I was jumping on the call. Sorry.
So
I,
no worries. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. That's awesome. Are you? He's like, I'm sorry. What are you sorry about? Are you kidding me? This is Buy Box Live. If you want to come up and make that call, we have
no,
a live deal, a live situation here. We're trying to find a property for Francisco, and you're making the call in Sun City or somewhere in
yeah, it was Sun City.
yeah. So that's awesome. Are you kidding me? Let's do it.
I thought you were on the call and I was trying to like mute myself and I think I unmuted.
Yeah. No worries. No, I appreciate it. You're welcome, and others are welcome to do the same. So let's keep it. Let's keep going. All right. So in the meantime, I just brought up Jafar. What is up, sir? How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for bringing me up. I'm a bit new to this room or this group, so thanks for adding me in. I have a property in Tampa.
Okay.
The person that owns it wants to sell the house. I guess he rehabbed the house and he was thinking about doing an Airbnb or rental, but he just needs to pay off his HML um that he owes. And
Okay.
yeah, so I have the property address if you would like to take a look at that.
Okay. So first of all, a couple of things before we even do that. You mentioned it's in
Yeah.
Tampa. He needs to pay off the loan that he has. Is it? I didn't catch what kind of loan was this. Was this a
It's a
hard
hard money
money
loan.
lender? Huh?
It's a hard money loan.
Hard money loan. Okay. Yeah, you did say HML. Like usually I hear hard money loan from hard money lender. But
Sorry about that.
yeah, no worries, no worries. That's fine. So he does have a hard money loan. He really wants to get the cash to pay that back. And then sometimes what we can do is, a lot of times those hard money lenders want their cash back as soon as possible. And I've seen it done. I wouldn't do it personally, but I've seen it done where someone refinances and gets a different loan um, and pays off that way. And then the buyer comes in and takes ownership or responsibility for paying the new loan subject to.
Yeah, I think he was gonna do a DCSR on the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
I think that's talking about right. The DCSR.
Uh,
So he was
he's
working. He was, yeah.
yes, yeah,
Like refinancing it right with the HML. But
yeah,
the thing is that they need 10,000 or 15,000 in the bank account to show. And he doesn't have that. So he was like, he can get that refinanced and pay off the mortgage or the HML.
yeah,
But he needs 15,000 in his bank account to show. Oh, sorry, 10,000 in his bank account to show. Because they need a certain amount of months of installments in his account.
yep.
To make sure that he could pay his monthly installments.
Okay, awesome, perfect. So that works. It sounds like he's given you a lot of the information you will need to try to work on this deal and see if we can, somehow purchase this property. We've got this scenario where he's got a hard money loan and all of that stuff. Now, the second thing I would say is, do you have this property currently under contract in some way, like a novation contract or something that says, hey, you can find me a buyer, I'm going to go under contract. Do you have it like
Yeah,
that now?
yeah, I got that. I got that as well.
So it is under contract then.
Yeah, it's under contract.
Perfect. Okay. So with that, because what I don't want to do, right, we are live obviously here in Discord, which is, kind of private, but we're also live on YouTube, and I don't
Yeah,
want to, share property if it's not under contract. So
he's
feel
actually
free.
a family member, so
What was that?
he's a family member. So
Okay,
so I
cool.
know pretty well.
Yeah. So some random stranger calls up and be like, "Hey," you're like, "Yeah,
No, he's a family member.
all good." Okay. So if you give me the address, then we can definitely look
Yes, sir. It's 83.
at it. So first of all, welcome to to thewholesaleatlas.com. When someone is sharing an address, we love when they share the actual wholesale atlas address, so it's really easy. In the future,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
for now, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do the whole thing. So what I will do is, Francisco, let me just close this out. I think we spent a lot of time reviewing this buy box. What I'd like to do is, I don't know if you want to join me, if you have time tomorrow, join me on stage again, as we can maybe continue this process. Today, we went through the process of finding out and confirming the buy box, finding the location, getting all the details. And then tomorrow we can, sort of jump into really trying to find the property. This would be awesome if this person calls me back and it's a deal, like on today's live, it closes it out. But at the same time, we also have 199 properties that we can call. These are all seller finance, and we can be like, hey, I like the property. Right, this one is seller fi, so they don't have a loan on it. And we're like, hey, I want to buy this property, or I have someone who really, really wants to buy this property, move to this property. Can we buy it over time? How much do you need down? 20,000? Perfect. Let's go. How much do you need a month? Can I give you 800? Awesome. It's a deal. She moves in. She only had to pay 20K, and everybody's happy. And I'll put in here, Francisco gets 10K. Again, cash on cash doesn't matter because she's literally moving into it.
Right.
So she doesn't care like how much money she gets back, and she'll get back nothing because she's not actually going to have renters in there. So yeah, this doesn't matter. Francisco gets 20K. We get to split 20K. Maybe we get to split 30K because Joel is the one who finds the deal, and Francisco gets paid, and everybody gets paid on Buy Box Live. That'd be awesome. So we can
awesome.
pick this up tomorrow and continue. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. We can connect tomorrow, and I really appreciate the effort, man. I really appreciate it because it's kind of scary when you're starting out and you finally get somebody interested, and you're like, now what? And it's really helpful to have you guys as a team to help out on all this, explaining and doing all these live. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the endorsement. I'm gonna see if I can clip this on YouTube and share it with my YouTube followers and other followers. I actually, if you go back, I'm also on Instagram, BuyBox Live, on X, BuyBox Live, and you can email me on the website as well. So, yeah, we can get some content about sharing it on social media. And by all means, tell all your friends, hey, I literally found a deal, didn't know what I was going to do. And, all of a sudden I got a bunch of help from these guys over at thewholesaleatlas.com and BuyBox Live. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, I want to know I guess this is a good idea, but if we can't find anything on the Wholesale Atlas platform, is there a way that we can promote this buy box in the Discord or something? Maybe somebody already has a property they're looking to sell in this area, and we can connect like that. Similar to our friend that just mentioned this on the live. I forget his name, but similar to that, maybe that could work as well.
Yeah, so that is like level 3. What we just did was level 1. We tried to find the property ourselves. We used some of the tools we have, not all of them. Level 2 would be maybe, level 2A would be, we can go onto potentially, I'll pull this up. Potentially we can go onto Atlas, theatlas.com.
Right.
Yeah, so we can look in theatlas.com, and this should be, generally speaking, people who already have, see, this is Arizona, right? Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, and we can say, hey, here's 2 deals in Arizona. This one's in Peoria. This would be a perfect one, right? So this one is already in the Atlas, and we can be like, hey, I see you've got a deal. Can we buy this property? Right. So this would be like, to your point, yeah, we can do it. So And then, yeah, third level would be, okay, we talked to this folks and, this is for whatever reason, it's not going to work. The entry fee is 26 because the down payment, hopefully here, is maybe 15, 20K. This is potentially a sub two. No, it's sellify. Sellify. So this is literally the kind of thing we were going to try to manufacture by making those calls. So, this might be the solution. The monthly payment on this one
Got it.
though is really high. It looks like monthly payment is 3,000, so that's twice as much as we were hoping for.
Yeah, exactly.
So for that one, but yeah, we can do that. And then the other thing is, to the point, we can go ahead and this one's also 15. We can, share it in the Discord and let people know. Now, the other thing you can do is, at the very start of this live, I showed, going to where did I have it? The buy boxes. So,
Sure.
you could also add, like if you go to theatlas.com, you can actually add your own buy box as well. And then, when someone is searching, like I went in here, I lost it. Bring it up again. So, I went in here and I said, oh, let me find someone who's literally buying properties in a particular location. So here I would have said Arizona. Okay. So if you put it into the Atlas, it's going to show up here as, very specific details. You're like, hey, I'm looking for someone, something in, this would say Arizona. This would be like price range is 350K probably up to 450K or up to 500K. Down payment such and such. So you can be very specific about your buy box as well. So this is another way to do it. There are many ways to do it. Okay.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, we got you, dude. We're gonna hopefully within the next 2 weeks we would have closed the deal. That'd be awesome.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Okay, so let's reconnect. And I know we're at the end of our live right now, but at the same time, we can go ahead and take a quick look at Jafar's situation. And yeah, let's pick it up from there. So we've got
Yes, I appreciate that.
too many tabs open. Now, did you get? Man, I gave you all of that time. You still didn't post the link.
The link, I'm sorry.
I gave you all of that time, and you didn't post me the wholesale atlas link to the address. You still want? You still want me to type the address in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me. Should I put it on the chat, the address, or?
It's fine. You can tell me. I'm already here. I literally, I spent like my point was like the last 5 minutes of closing out. I should have said, okay, in the next 5 minutes, go ahead and post it in the chat, so that we can quickly find it. And in the meantime, I will wrap up with Francisco. That's what I should have said. So my apology.
Oh, sorry about that.
However you want.
It's 8308 North Mulberry, MULBERRY Street, Tampa, Florida.
Temp Florida. Man, that's a new way to say it. I think I've heard it that way. Tampa. We from Tampa? Tampa? No, Tampa.
Tampa.
This guy said Temp Florida. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious as to what this means. Okay. So this is like, hey man, there's a huge property here. It's not just the front that you're looking at. Is that what this is supposed to mean? What am I?
All right. So it's rehabbed house, fully rehabbed. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It's right by USF, as well as Busch Gardens. It's right down the street.
Okay. Doesn't look too bad. Rehab. Situation. Okay. It's got a hard money loan. This says no loans, of course, because it's not, or yeah, this is not going to have information on hard money, private money lenders. They're private for a reason. Okay. He wants to. So this is the situation. The one way to solve this, right, would be, hey, you can keep paying the loan that you have, and we will pay you enough, to cover that loan, right? Looks like we can get maybe around 2,000 rent. Joel is in
Yeah,
here. Joel, keep
I think
quiet.
Section 8. Yeah, I think Section 8 was like 2,100.
Yeah, it says 2,100. But my point is, I sort of go based off. Let's say Section 8 is 2,100, right?
Yeah.
That is a ballpark. It is up to Section
Okay.
8 to add numbers to make that like 100 plus or 100 minus or whatever the number is. Up to them, right? They're the ones
Yeah.
who set the voucher for the person going into it. So that could literally be 1,800 if they wanted to, or it could be 25. So, but what I tend to do is to be very conservative and say, okay, we could potentially get rent of 19 something. I'm going to change that to 1,800. We should get at least 1,800. That's sort of how I think. Because if
Okay.
we do that, then in this scenario, we still, like I say, I have no assignment fee because hey, I want to buy the property myself. So that's my default. But let's say this was going to be you, and you get, we'll start with 10K, but it's a lot of times hard to get 10K. But payments to seller, let's say, renovation. Do you know how much he pays per month now to the hard money lender?
I think it's like 12 something with the insurance and
He has
and
insurance?
the tax. Property insurance.
Oh, property insurance.
Yeah.
So PITI, you're saying. PITI,
Yeah.
taxes, insurance, blah, 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 all that stuff. He's paying about 1,200. So then
Yeah, but so yeah.
hybrid, but this would be maybe a hybrid, but we'll leave it at that just to number straight. Total, he's paying about 1,200. So let's say we cover all of these things. PITI, operating expenses. PITI is those 200 in total of 200 to sell. I don't know. So let's say that. Okay, if we paid enough to cover the property taxes and insurance, and we paid $1,000 to him, then he could take that money and turn around and pay the hard money lender. But of course, the hard money lender wants their cash back right now. Right? That's the issue. But we could
Yeah,
potentially,
I think it's outside of his it's 12 months.
yeah. So 12
So
months.
they want the full they want the full payment.
Yeah, he's probably pretty much at the end of that 12 months now. They want the cash.
Yeah, but he has the option of like refinancing it. It's just that he
Yeah.
just needs 10,000 in his bank account to show that he could pay the monthly rents, or the monthly mortgage.
Finance it. That might be a way to do it. Right? It's got this thing on there. And you get a mortgage. I wouldn't be the buyer for it because, it would have to be going to a buyer. Ooh, okay, let me put it that way. If let's say he got $12,000, right? Then
Yeah.
he could put 10,000 of that into the bank account and leave it untouched. And then
Right.
get a mortgage on it. Unfortunately, the mortgage would be, any idea how much the
Yeah, I have it
balance?
right here. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Let me get that for you.
It just needs to be a ballpark. 100,000, 200,000.
I believe it's 160.
Okay. Doesn't have to be exact. 160. All right. So at 160, say the rate is about 8% payment. This should have told me that, but the original was there. So similar amount, right? About 12,000, about 1,200, I should say, goes to the bank or the lender, the new lender. If it's at 8%, if it was 7%, still pretty high up there. Payment to the seller. Nothing because we're taking over the loan, and we're giving him 12,000. Cash on cash is pretty low, but that's because you're getting a bunch. You don't need too much. That seller gets, let's say, nothing because ain't as much to that, and somehow we can get Section 8.
Yeah, I don't think he wants anything. If you take over the loan, I don't think he wants anything like back, or anything.
Yeah, I think that covers it. This works. This works as a deal, and you still get an assignment.
Oh, nice.
Okay, how does that work? I'll give you my printout. This thing. Take screenshot. Whole thing.
So, what would be the next step? For this.
So the next step would be you already have it on contract. So,
Yeah.
no, you already have it on the contract. I'm gonna go ahead before I do anything else. Paste it to Jafar. You've heard that like a million times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, what just I pasted? Okay, so these are my numbers I just pasted to you. How we're able to accomplish this? We sort of did a hybrid down payment of $12,000. He takes literally he's making he's putting 10,000 of that into the bank. He's keeping 2,000 cash. We're doing closing costs, I think. Yep, we're doing closing costs, all that stuff, which I don't know how much it should be, but let's say closing costs is that much because of the purchase price.
Yeah.
And you get a nice assignment, and the cash on cash is not too bad. The person buying this property, assignment, entry fee, down payment, annual cash return. Where's my monthly annual cash flow? I guess my annual cash flow here is $5,000. And the entry fee for this was total of about $22,000. So I think this makes it a good deal. About $22,000 paid to get into this property. He gets 10,000 that goes into the bank and just sits there. Or someone else comes along and does the refinancing and all that stuff. But again, that wouldn't mean.
Yeah, I think he already got proof for the financing. Is it that he just had to show the So they already did the appraisal and everything, and so yeah, all he needed was to show that, and they would approve it right away.
Okay, perfect. So this is what I would say. I think that makes it a deal. With that, I would recommend that we move forward with this thing and bring it up with our head cheese. So I'm going to make a note. Forward to the Wholesale Atlas, USA, Facebook, with numbers like these. Seller needs 10K bank. Seller would refi the hard money loan and still subject to. So it's a bit of a more complex creative finance solution. A little complex, but I think it works. The total entry here was about it was under 25K, so 22K. I don't know if my team would pick it up. I know I wouldn't do it personally, but even though it's only 20K, because it involves lending and banks, that stuff, but we'll see. 2K. I'll even make it, wait, say under 25. Yeah, so for that reason, I would say that makes it a deal. And with that, I'm gonna give you, you're not gonna see my notes, but apply, you see the picture, see the link. I would submit that to Dispo.
Okay.
So with that, the
So
other thing is, let
yeah.
me tag our Dispo team this. Edit. That. Okay. Okay. And then another thing I need is copy this. Add to my dictionary and let's go. Okay, I'm gonna save that. Save that. Okay. So you got my notes, you got my suggestions. I recommend Dispo, and you got all the numbers. All right.
Okay, so we just save this. Let's see. Awesome.
Great, great, great. So that's my recommendation. I've underwritten the deal. I put the numbers in. If anything there is incorrect or wrong or missing, etc., my
So
apologies.
what do I tell him? What's the next passage? What I tell him? What should you do?
Yeah. So the next thing would be we're going to bring it up with the team, right? The team is going to be like, hey, this works, and you already have it under contract, so
Yeah.
you know you would submit that contract to the team. You let them know how you're trying to get it done, and let them know, hey, this is
Yep.
going to be under 25K entry, and so I guess the next thing you can do, like even before the team does anything, is you can go over into the into the atlas.com. It's like all these other deals I looked at, like I literally looked at these two in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But you can go to the atlas.com, pull that
Okay.
up, right?
Yeah, I got it up.
And then click on post deal. And then
Okay.
here you can see I already have some deals in here posted. This one is most recent. And some
Yeah.
people said, yeah, I saved this property just in case. I want to come back to this property. Some people have requested information. But in here, you can then click on new submission in the top right. And you can add the details, add pictures, whatever you want. And your deal should look very similar to. Okay. This is the address.
All right, perfect.
This is the specifics. Put some info, all that stuff. So then when it's done, right? Once you've done that, you can click on this button here to share, and then you share it to someone. You can share this in all the different Facebook groups. You can, you can do the buy box option, like in this case. See, and they will see this just like I did, right? Oh, okay, this is the address. These are the details, and you're gonna have different details, obviously, but these are the details of the deal, blah blah blah, and it's less than 20. It's less than 20K entry, right? Okay, it's 25K, less than 20K entry. And someone like me, who's an actual buyer, will come along and be like, whoa, nice. I'd like to pick up this property in this location, right? Obviously, yours is going to show up in Tampa. And if I go to Tampa, I'm going to be looking at some other deals in Tampa. And here, you've got this one for cash at 379. This one is in the Ocala area, middle of, well, Ocala's up here, but this would be, where's
That's
this?
about an hour and a half.
Yep, Haines City. Ocala's up here.
Yeah.
This is halfway between Tampa and Orlando, but your deal would show up very similar to this one. And so if I'm looking in Tampa and I want a property just like I'm currently looking for a buy box in Phoenix, I've got a real end buyer. I could potentially in this one buy this property for less than, 35K entry. Yours would be even sweeter at less than 25K entry.
Yeah.
Okay. So now a buyer could come to you and be like, yeah, I like this deal. Let's go. Let's buy it. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Okay.
All right, so I'll start doing that right now. Thank you.
Cool. And
Thank
then,
you,
so we just did it on this live, by the way, on buyboxlive.com. We're also in Discord. So on the Discord side, I went ahead and targeted those folks. I said I recommended Dispo. You can reach out to them individually as well. And then, just get the details on what they want you to do next to show it. They're going to literally tell you the same thing. They're going to say, put it in the atlas and then share it, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure they're going to say the same.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. So I'll tell them as well.
Nice. So you've got some
Thank you.
homework. But within a few days, this should be up there. And I don't know, it really looks like a good deal. It looks like a good deal. So.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he's just stressed out, so I'll learn to help him out.
Yeah. And what's awesome about it is, I really like when I can start making relationships with fixers and flippers, like, hey, can I find the next part that you want to fix, flip? If I can do it creatively, awesome. They can fix it. Together we can flip it. And next thing you know, everybody's making money, right? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I'm a wholesaler myself, so I do Atlanta and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Cool. So you do the wholesaling. You find some nice land, maybe get it creatively.
I got some real nice one right now. Yeah. So 6 figures, But yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. So yeah,
Thank you.
we spent a bunch of time on this Buy Box Live. What is up to my people in the audience? Patty Spaceman has rejoined us, Patty P, and Jerry J. Jerry J and Patty P. Need some more numbers in here. Father Hustler. Cool. All right. So I don't have anything else for this live. We're gonna try to follow up tomorrow, finding an actual. We sort of prepped on this live for Phoenix, and maybe we can make some calls in Arizona tomorrow for Francisco and maybe get one of these properties. What I really, really like is if we've got a real buyer, same thing. We've got Patty is in the audience. His buy box, he's got real buyers who want to buy in Kansas City. We had an earlier live where we sort of talked about that, but we can do the same thing. Find a really good deal in Kansas City, cash flows, blah, blah, blah. Then they want to buy it. Yeah, we can do the same thing. That's what you find on Buy Box Live. So with that, come on back. Let's do this again. Try to find needle in the haystack. We'll poke the haystack and see what jumps out, as I like to